All right, guys, so it turns out that I accidentally filmed my intro. There used to be a bike right here, a Surron, and I accidentally filmed my intro in slow-mo. So anyway, I'm gonna throw up a time lapse of tearing this thing apart, and we're doing powder coat on the yellow one that you all just now seen. If you didn't see that, I'll link it in the description box down below. But we just now done a fluorescent yellow Surron, and now we're doing a teal Surron. So it's gonna be teal with purple wheels and a bunch of other goodies. So stay tuned after we get this thing tore apart, which is already tore apart, but this. Oh. Alexa, turn shop on. Anyway, there was a bike sitting here, and I'm gonna roll the edit, and we're gonna take this thing apart. This is the black one all the way apart. So we have this entire Surron under here. Then I've got the black Surron, which is gonna be teal, right here, and then right here. I know this looks like a mess, guys, but there's not much to these bikes. We've got to throw new swing arm bearings in and jack shaft bearings, and then I'm gonna get rid of this belt and do a warp 9 chain conversion, and the wheels, new tires, a couple other things. And this is the video that you're watching now. All this stuff is gonna come back from powder coat and be teal. So it's all gonna get sandblasted, all gonna get powder coated. The teal, it's Illusion Ice, I-C-E, Illusion Ice. It's a prismatic color, so stay tuned. Me and Charles, this is the guy that has the yellow Surron. Me and Charles are actually going to smooth the frames on both of these tomorrow and weld in the holes, the little triangle holes behind the horn, like where the horn used to be, to completely smooth the frames and make that gone, and then get rid of all the casting marks and really clean these frames up before they go off to powder. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow, and then we will pick back up after we get this black frame back from powder coat. Did you dirty the same way you did me? Alright guys, so I'm not sure how I've really laid out this video yet, but we're putting together the teal Surron right now, which is my Surron, and we got the tires mounted onto the purple Warp 9 wheels. So they look absolutely sick. I know y'all probably just seen that we were mounting that tire up and stuff, but dude, they turned out killer. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and put my Surron frame on the stand, and we're gonna start assembling this bad boy. So let's go ahead and start a edit, and I will see you all whenever we have a complete Surron. Also, huge shout out to Guts Racing. I'll show you the seat here at the end. They came on to the YouTube channel as a sponsor, so they shipped us out one of their complete seats, and I'll have a video on that seat and what I think about it here very shortly. 4 hours putting it back together, maybe 3 hours putting it back together, and then we had about an hour taking it apart. So really just 5, 6, 7 hours fiddling with it, a couple hours a day. So far it's not been too bad. So let's go ahead and roll this little edit and I'll see y'all whenever we have a complete Surron. Yes. It is right here behind me. We finally got it reassembled after being powder coated. Super easy, super quick. But since then, we've had some issues with the brakes. I was running some TRP Slate Evos, and now we're gonna be doing some videos in the future. So stay tuned, hit that subscribe button down below. We got a set of the Hope Tech V4s on order, and we done black and purple because they come in colors. So that's gonna look really sick. And so now we're going to just show you the bike and kind of talk about some future upgrades and just show you what it looks like after getting it back together. And also we have rode both of the bikes since we got them back from powder coat. We just have a few things to talk about, which I'm going to go over right now. So we also have the strongest bolts on the market. These are 170,000 PSI, and they are dyed and zinc coated, and then they have a yellow zinc coated nut, so the bolts won't rust or anything like that. Also, pretty much the first Surron on YouTube with the V3 linkage. So this is the newest linkage from Warp 9. But this bolt kit is going to come with the top, middle, and bottom bolts right here on the linkage, with the washers and the nuts, and then also the top shock bolt. So these bolt kits are going to be literally the strongest bolt kits on the market, and you'll be able to pick them up on my website. I'll try to put a link to my website. It's just justknoxsmith.com, just like the YouTube channel. These are going to be 50 bucks shipped for all of them, and we only have a limited quantity right now. So if that's something that you're interested in, go pick that up. We're running the Warp 9 linkage, Warp 9 V3, the Warp 9 Triangle, and then the Warp 9 V3 with the grease ports on the linkage. And then we've got the Warp 9 purple wheels, 54 tooth sprocket, 3.0 by 16 rear tire. Huge shout out to Guts Racing. So Guts Racing came on as a sponsor, hooked us up with a complete replacement seat. And let me tell you guys, this seat is such high quality. I've always been a huge fan of Guts Racing, even with like the dirt bike background that I have. Always loved Guts Racing, so for them to be a sponsor of the YouTube channel is super sick. So like I said, we're going to be upgrading the brakes. I was running the TRPs. We switched back over to just the factory stuff for now while we wait on our Hopes. Picked up all of the purple accents from Warp 9, purchased from Charge Cycle Works. And we've also got some prickly pegs on order. And we have prickly rotors front and rear, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to use because I didn't realize that the hubs are different for the rotors. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of research on those. I'm going to try to end up getting the Hope rotors that are actually 3.3 millimeters thick instead of 2.3. But yeah, guys, the bike looks sick. We have the Spank Spoon 60 bars on here, and then the Fast Ace 2.0s. Powder coat color is Illusion Ice, and then rear shock is just the factory rear shock with a powder coated spring. Tusk gold chain, purchased from Rocky Mountain. We have this plastic skid plate that I purchased from Factory Mini Bikes. And then comment some battery upgrades and speed controller upgrades down below. I was thinking about going with the Torp controller and either a Chai battery, a Green Line battery, or a, what's that other one, EBMX. So I haven't made up my mind on that just yet, but yeah, guys. Also, a huge shout out to Fast Ace. Use code HAWK10 and get 10% off on the literal best fork upgrade for the money that you can get for a Surron. And then I'm also going to upload a video here in like a day or two of the yellow Surron that we just finished up, and we still have a lot of stuff to do to it as well. But it's crazy. It's literally fluorescent yellow. The camera doesn't even pick up how bright it is. And we've just been doing all like the testing and stuff on this thing, retorquing over all the bolts, bolt kit as well. And he's over 200 pounds, zero issues jumping this bike to flat. Like I said, it comes with the washers, bolts, and nuts. So make sure to go pick you up a bolt kit Absolutely sick bolt kit. So also, just in case anybody was wondering, we did do warp 9 chain drive conversion. And after putting probably like 10-15 miles on it, I have noticed that it's pretty noisy, just as far as like the chain. When being compared to a belt, obviously. Now, if I was 72 volt, 100%, I would leave it on there. It's not really that loud, but since I'm only at 60 volt on the stock battery and stock controller, I'm actually gonna go ahead and throw that warp 9 chain drive on the 72 volt bike that I'm building for a customer. Here is his bike. It's 72 volt with the BAC 4000 and the Chai Gladiator. Absolutely sick bike, and it's about to get completely torn apart, completely powder coated. I've already got his seat in, and then I've also already got his rear brake in. DHR Evos TRP, sick brakes, some of the best ones out. And then we'll also probably go ahead and do 220 rotors and stuff like that. Got the direct mount right here from Warp 9. But yeah, so like I was saying, guys, if I had 72 volt, I would leave the chain drive on the bike, but I'm gonna take it off just so it's a little bit quieter. It's not as crazy loud as the one that the yellow bike is running, because the yellow bike doesn't have the Warp 9 one. The Warp 9 one has vulcanized rubber around the sprockets, which quietens it down. Cheaper one versus Warp 9. Go ahead and get the Warp 9 one because it is quieter and it is the best chain conversion out. And I would say that it is a really, really good option, especially if you have 72 volt. Like, I can't stress that enough. If you have 72 volt, I would agree with going to chain drive, but with just 60 volt, guys, I don't really feel like it's that necessary. I put over 900 miles on my bike and never stripped a belt. So I'm gonna throw a Gates belt on that thing and go ahead and throw that chain drive, since it's still brand new, onto the 72 volt build, and it's gonna be sick. It just looks so good. I literally can't get over these two colors together. And outside it looks even better. Like, this is in the garage. I've got 2 lights out and it still just pops. Look how clean it is. And this is after we've rode it. I put like 10 miles on it. It just looks so good. Single shot powder coat, and absolutely killed the powder on the frame and the swing arm. And like right here where we smooth those tabs. Oh, it looks so good. So yeah, guys, that's gonna be all for today's video. If there's anything that I missed or anything that you want me to try in a future video, any comments, concerns, questions, drop the comments down below. Hit that like button and subscribe to stay tuned for some more Surron content. So always remember, everybody starts out as a nobody, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.